Hi, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
We are also blessed that you're here today. Thank you.
So are we.
My question has to do with law of attraction.
Law of attraction.
Yes, I actually have a two-part question.
Yes.
And the first question is, you use the analogy of chess.
Yes.
Say you think that you have a piece that you're playing with on your chess game, and that piece decides to go over and play Russian roulette instead of chess. Is it possible to re-attract that circumstance or person back into your chessboard?
A version of them, perhaps, yes. Not necessarily the original. Does that make sense?
I think so.
Well, again, the idea, when you talk about law of attraction, understand it this way, because some of you have a little bit of a misunderstanding about the law of attraction and how it actually functions. It isn't wrong that you need to be of a certain frequency to attract things that are relevant to that frequency or representative of it. But the idea is you think you have to actually learn to do that, and you don't. Let me put it to you this way. Here's the real core of what you call the law of attraction. Each and every one of you has a signature frequency that is uniquely you. That frequency is your true self. That true self, that true frequency is radiating from you like a beacon all the time, without fail, without stop. That frequency of your true self is constantly attracting, constantly, without fail, constantly attracting what is representative of a manifestation reflective of that true self vibration. It's not that you have to learn to attract. It's that you have to learn to stop keeping things away that are trying to get to you based on the frequency of your core being. Does that make sense? You see the difference?
I believe so. It's more about allowing.
It is totally about allowing. And the things that are not you are utterly trying to get away from you as hard as they can. If the things that are not representative of your true vibration stick around, it's because you're holding on to them. So it's about letting go and letting in. Not really about having to learn how to attract. You already know how to attract. It's in your nature to attract. But the idea is that you have to understand that you just need to let go of the things that are not representative of the vibration you prefer in order to simply let the things that are attempting to get to you that are come in. Yeah. If, thus then, there is something in your life that is truly representative of that frequency, and you have let go of all the things keeping it at bay, it will come in. If it does not come in after you have done that, you don't need it.
Absolutely.
Make sense?
Yes.
And when you understand that the things that don't come to you are the things you don't need, then you will make room for the things that are you to come to you. And you won't care what they are, because if they are the things that are representative of your vibration, when they come to you, they will feel correct. So it doesn't matter in what form they come. Make sense?
Yes.
Does that help you?
Absolutely.
All right.
There's only one other question. And
all right.
There was a gentleman earlier, and he kind of hit on it a little bit. And he spoke of your higher self.
Yes.
And I've gotten a lot of signs about a certain individual.
Yes.
And also I've gotten signs about a certain career. Is that my higher self? Is that my spirit guide?
Maybe, but again, do you remember the formula?
I think so.
If you act to the best of your ability, to the best of your ability. Sometimes you can't act beyond a certain point. You don't have the ability to. But if you act to the best of your ability on the things that contain the highest excitement, with no insistence on what the outcome ought to be, which means you're not result-oriented, then you will be led to where you actually need to be, and the things that manifest will be representative of the vibrational state of your preferred reality. Even though you may think they don't look like what you thought they would look like, you have to know that they are more representative than what you assumed would be there. If you don't have that understanding, you're not following the formula.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So, it's not about, again, like we said, oh, that didn't happen, then something must be wrong. I must be stopping myself. I must be blocking myself. The idea, again, is, as we have said with visualization, the key to visualization is, by all means, create a scenario that represents your ideal reality. Let it make you very excited. Get really excited about it, and then dump the image completely. Let go of the image. The only thing that's important in visualization is the state of being of excitement that the image generated within you. Let the image go completely, and then let your higher mind bring you what actually is representative of the path of that vibrational state, with absolutely no assumption that it has to look a certain way, because the physical mind is not designed to know how something should look. It only is designed to know what things look like that have already manifested. The physical mind is simply experience-oriented. It is not precognitive. Only the higher mind is. Make sense?
Yes, it does.
So, when you allow the higher mind to do its job and work in concert with the physical mind can relax. The physical mind can simply get into the right state. The higher mind, do your stuff. And then let the manifestation, the next manifestation that occurs, be what you need. And approach it with the idea of understanding, all right, what can I get out of this? How can I act on this in the most exciting way I can? Or is it simply a recognition that this is not my preference? And what is my preference, and how can I act on that? With no assumption for what the outcome should be. When you do that, your life will become a continuing ecstatic explosion of synchronicity, and you will see that it works effortlessly, and you don't have to make it work. You just have to allow it to work. Does that make sense?
Yes, so in fact, sometimes when you see the signs, it's actually synchronicity from your higher mind.
Yes.
Okay.
Often the idea of those kinds of synchronicities, as we said, are messages from the higher mind.
That you're on the right path.
Yes.
Okay.
Even if it doesn't look like you thought it would.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Got it. Good day, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I wanted to piggyback on that, get a little information on the law of attraction.
Yes.
Specifically, what are some daily practices that we can do to allow and to let go and to do what you said before about...
What works for you? You understand our concept of permission slips?
Yes, I think I have a disconnect sometimes on what I feel
How so?
versus what my physical mind is trying to control.
But you still understand the idea of permission slips, yes?
I understand it, but...
Are you sure?
Well, there's a disconnect.
What's the definition of a permission slip?
Allowing yourself to do something?
No. All tools, all techniques, all rituals, and all objects are permission slips that are in alignment with your belief system. That's why you're attracted to a particular tool, ritual, technique, or object, because you believe that that particular tool, technique, ritual, or object will allow you to give yourself permission to be more of who you are.
Okay.
The technique, tool, ritual, or object isn't doing anything. You are. But you're saying that those particular permission slips are acting as triggers for you to let it be all right to be more of who you are. So it doesn't matter what the technique is. It doesn't matter what the tool is. It doesn't matter what the ritual is. It doesn't matter what the object is, except that you are attracted to use it. That's the only thing that makes a difference. That it works for you. It may not work for anyone else. But if it works for you, if you're attracted to use a particular technique or tool or ritual or object, then you're attracted to it for a reason. Because that's where your belief system is aligned, and that will be the thing that will allow you to give yourself permission to be more of who you are. So when any of you ask for a particular technique, rely on your imagination, rely on what you're attracted to. If you're attracted to meditation, do it. If you're not, don't. If you're attracted to being immersed in water, do it. If you're not, don't. If you're attracted to use tarot cards, do it. If you're not, don't. It's all the same to the universe. Make sense?
Yes.
Does this answer your question?
Yes.
Does this help you?
Yes. Thank you, Bashar.
Thank you.
Hello, Tadeo.
Nania.
We have a question from our Ustream listeners.
All right.
And this question is it possible to shift to a parallel reality and become a hybrid human now?
That is a contradictory sentence. Listen to it. Is it possible to shift to a parallel reality and become a hybrid human now? The idea is that you're saying possible to shift to, which implies it is not now, and yet asking, is it possible to do this now? Obviously, when a shift is made of that nature, then the being will experience that shift as it's now, but it's not the same now as this now, where that shift hasn't happened yet, according to the way the question has been stated. So it's a contradictory statement.
Right. But just taking along the idea of what he's asking, he or she.
The idea, therefore, is to understand that if everything does exist now in its own version of now, then many, many beings have alternate incarnations as hybrid beings in the now in which the hybrid being exists. So in that sense, yes, it's not only possible, it's highly probable that many beings on your planet have alternate realities in other nows as hybrid beings. But it won't be the same now as the being who's asking the question lives in.
So a lot of the people now that are learning how to follow their excitement, how to be of a higher vibrational level, dealing
Yes.
with their core issues that are allowing them to then transform into a higher vibrational state.
Yes.
Will they be similar to the hybridized human version that you're speaking of in the future?
More and more. Now remember, of course, that in a sense, really, you're all already hybridized.
Right.
In order to be human, you had to be hybridized.
Right. So what would the difference be, in a sense, between the hybrid humans that you're describing, the sixth group, as opposed to the humans that are here that are accelerating and maybe raising their frequency to
The
quite high
sixth
levels?
hybrid race ultimately will appear more like us, physically.
Why will they look more like you?
Because vibration begets a certain reflection.
So they'll be really cute?
Indubitably. It is simply that certain physiological alterations will go along with certain vibrational ones. And certain vibrational alterations that are in any way, shape, or form reflective or similar to our vibration will carry with them certain physiological expressions or reflections or traits. So you may not be identical to us, but you will be more like us as a species.
So basically what you're saying is as your DNA shifts and
Yes.
you become more and more hybridized, which
Yes.
involves more silica in
Yes.
the body system,
Yes.
then the physical features actually start to shift.
Yes.
But are these individuals then born looking like this, or they literally would change during their lifetime?
Both can happen, and later on in your time frame down the line, more and more will simply shift, but there will also be many, many more just born that way.
Utterly fascinating.
Yes.
Anything else you'd like to say about the hybridized humans? The versions today and the versions that will, linearly speaking, be in the future?
Access your full potential, and you will accelerate your experience in all levels, in all directions, in all ways that are relevant for your life now, for only your life now is relevant to you. That which you may become is relevant to who you will become. Be you now, and that will give you the greatest opportunity to become the other that you wish to be. For if you invalidate anything you are now, anywhere you are now, any when you are now, you invalidate the stepping stone that will take you to the other place. Be where you are now as fully as you possibly can be. And in that validation will all things come to you because you will be living in the present where all things exist.
And you can experience that high level of joy and excitement that the hybridized humans will experience on an ongoing basis.
That is your birthright now. You do not have to be any more hybridized than you are right now to experience utter joy all the time. Experiencing utter joy, choosing to experience the joy all the time, will accelerate the process of hybridization within your DNA structures to be more reflective of that joy until such time as you will know nothing else as an experience. You will know that there are choices that can be made that would be different than the experience of joy. You simply won't choose them because you will have no reason to anymore, no need. And you can do that now if you wish. It is completely in your hands, always has been, but now you are waking up to the fact of that truth. So exercise the choices that you prefer now. It is completely up to you. And trust the way your life unfolds as being the appropriate manner in which it serves the theme you chose to explore and the way you chose to be of service to all connected to you in your life. It is truly as simple as that, but it is also, when you allow it to be that simple, absolutely magnificent. I guarantee it. Is it time for you to take your break to set up your holotope?
Not yet. So actually, we need to draw some more names.
3. And that will suffice.
Thank you. Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Contact is my highest excitement.
Well, you're having contact right now.
Yes, I am. And along with that, a couple of months ago, before I went to sleep,
Speak up, speak up.
a couple of months ago, before I went to sleep, I asked for greater recognition, greater feeling, bringing back the feeling of contact with my higher mind.
All right, and?
And I woke up in the middle of that night feeling very full, very like I had internal pressure.
Yes.
I was vibrating, humming,
All right.
and that was very exciting.
Yes.
And within the next night or two, I was having a dream, seeing UFO lights in the sky,
Yes.
and I woke up, or I feel like I woke up, maybe woke up into another level of
Yes.
consciousness.
Yes.
And there was a gray
Yes.
extraterrestrial in my bedroom, and I felt no fear.
All right,
That's why-
congratulations.
That's why I feel like I was connected with my higher mind.
Yes.
And
That's why we talked earlier about the idea that when you put yourself in the state that you prefer, all such interactions will be seen in a completely different light.
Yes. And I was genuinely happy to see him there.
Thank you.
And as he approached, I sat up and I put my hand on his chest and felt very real. And so I'm just wondering, on what level was that? Was that
The template level reality that's on your chart.
okay? Because
Many of these interactions take place on the template level of that reality because it's neither your reality nor theirs. It's a neutral meeting ground, a blueprint ground in which different kinds of scenarios can be constructed for interactions of that nature that both sides will accept as, in a sense, real. Because it's the borderline between your two countries, if you will.
and he was another aspect of my oversoul.
Yes.
Okay.
Most encounters of that type are actually other versions of yourselves. That's why they know that an agreement has been made.
That was a wonderful experience.
Thank you for co-creating it in that manner and in that light.
Thank you.
Pleasant dream.
Thank you. Within the next few nights,
Yes,
I had that same kind of blended feeling again.
yes,
Only this time it came with great emotion.
yes,
I was very joyful, very excited,
yes.
and
What do you wish to do with that in your life? The idea is that's your state of being. Therefore, apply, act from that state of being in everything that you do, and you will be most highly aligned with who you actually are.
Yes. And
Yes?
at that time, I then had another experience. I had a physical sensation that I have had many times when I was younger, and I didn't know what it was. And I had the same sensation again, and
Define.
I felt it was just a strong feeling from my neck up through my throat.
Yes.
And as you know, as humans, from our neck to our throat, there's a 90-degree turn, basically.
Yes.
But this felt much more straight. And
The idea of the back of the neck, the base of the skull, is what might be classically or euphemistically referred to in your language as the channeling chakra.
Okay.
Thus, when that starts to open, it is an indication that you are now preparing to work with higher levels of your being.
Okay.
Yes?
And at that moment, I brought my physical focus down towards my chest. I didn't have arms, but I had two light gray flippers, making me feel like I was a dolphin.
Yes.
So
Many
I
of
was-
you are cross-connected to dolphin incarnations and other amphibious beings of that nature.
So that was another.
As you expand your consciousness, you will become more aware of some of the other connections that you have that are relevant to the energy information you require to live this life.
Yes.
So you become aware of the greater being that you are in more of its expressions.
Thank you. So yes, this is all very exciting and
Yes. We think so.
and that
Does
will
this
just,
help you?
Yes, that will just lead to more and more contact.
Yes.
Okay.
But mostly, and firstly, more contact with yourself.
Yes. I do have one question from a very dear friend of mine. She's an artist in Australia.
Yes.
And she feels a very strong connection, as do I, to Orion.
Yes.
And she feels a strong connection, a home connection to Bellatrix specifically. And so she wanted to know about any planets or beings that are there.
There are some around that star, but the idea really for the focus would be to look to Mintaka.
Okay.
And that is the information we are allowed to give for the beginning of another journey.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, Bashar.
And you good day.
Bashar, I have felt for many, many years, most of this lifetime, we are actually missing a language. I don't know the actual terminology of this language. I call it heart speak. It is not telepathic from the mind.
No, it is a vibration literally from the heart. And
Yes.
from the solar plexus area.
Yes.
Yes.
I feel I speak this language regularly. I use it in the occupation I have.
Yes, this was used quite commonly back in what you would call Lemurian times.
Thank you. How do I...
You're already doing it.
Okay, is there a way to
Do
translate
you remember
it?
what we said about the idea of permission slips?
Yes.
Using it and opening up to the idea of whatever way you need to understand it, you will allow the synchronicity in your life to bring you whatever information that you need. But the idea is that it doesn't always necessarily have to be translated into a language you understand at another level, because sometimes understanding it or interpreting it another way would actually, in some senses, obfuscate your ability to use it in its more natural form. Because it doesn't require an interpretation to be experienced in the way that it needs to be experienced by those who need to receive it.
Thank you.
You understand?
Yes.
Just
completely.
speak from your heart, that will do. If you need any translation, you'll have it. But as we said before, if it doesn't come, you may not need it.
Okay.
Does this help?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Anything else?
One more question. There are some of us who, with the changes on the earth right now and the environmental impacts of what's going on,
Yes.
some of us feel like we're starting to sort of lose our memories a little bit. We've got ringing in the ears.
This is one of the symptoms of the transition. Because understand, we have no memory at all.
It is mindlessness.
The idea is simply that we know what we need to know when we need to know it. Because you always have access to information, always. And so the idea is not necessarily to remember in the classical sense, but to simply allow yourself to know what you need to know when you need to know it. And so the first symptom of this transition in your species might be that you lose your memories in the way that you typically often experience them. But that's all right. Just relax. You'll be fine. The most important thing is to know who you are. And when you know who you are, everything you need to know will come to you. Exactly when it needs to come to you. Not a second later than it needs to come to you, but also not a second sooner than it needs to come to you. Trust the timing. Yes?
Thank you, Bashar.
Does this help you?
Absolutely.
Do you believe that you can live that way?
Absolutely.
Totally in the moment that way?
Right now.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our hearts go out to you.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
About 10 years ago, I had a near-death experience.
How exciting.
Ever since then, I've been having some contacts.
Yes.
I'm not really sure what they are, but it comes through with a lot of information.
Yes.
Overwhelming at times. I write them down.
All right.
Even visual.
Yes,
I can kind of explain to you what I see.
if you wish.
It's like red and orange with a structure in the middle, kind of like a face, kind of like water look, and it changes from face to face to face, almost like something is speaking through the water.
Yes,
to
all
me.
right. There is a
trying-
mix of Syrian and Arcturian connection in this, but there's something else as well that we're not allowed to talk about, but go on.
Okay. One of the things,
I'm sorry. The reason we're not allowed to talk about it is because it would be an interruption in his process.
My wife at times has seen this process take place.
Yes.
Where I kind of go to like a channeling form.
Yes.
I'm saying stuff.
Yes.
Some of it's just in a relaxed state. So, I mean, some of it's at night early in the morning when I wake up. Some is in a meditation state.
Yes.
I have no control over it.
That's
as
all
of
right,
right
you
now.
do. But the idea is that it has to be allowed to function in its natural way. You'll get used to it, and you'll know how to direct it. It's not so much control as it is the idea of direction.
Okay.
You'll get used to the flow. It takes a little time, we understand in your reality, but you'll get used to it. But you see, these are the kinds of things that happen when you die and come back. So if you're going to choose to have near-death experiences, you're not going to come back the same person.
Right.
And so this is part and parcel of what you agreed to. You'll get used to it, you'll learn, it'll amplify, it'll magnify, it'll become first nature to you eventually, and you'll know exactly how to apply it.
Yeah, one of the things is I do remember some sort of agreement or contract.
Yes.
I know I seen that part.
All right.
I wanted to see if you could give me any tips of how to harness it or be able to.
Is there a particular form in which you express the idea of the flow of this energy?
It's blissful, very pleasant, familiar.
No, what I mean is it being expressed vocally or in automatic writing or some form of channeling in that way, or is it being expressed artistically or some other way?
No, it comes through as like a channel, a voice into my head.
All right,
And then I basically repeat it. Yes.
All right.
And I do write it down.
All right. So you're in the idea of the stages of learning how to form a relationship with this entity, this consciousness, this level of being, and you are going to get used to the idea of how to apply it, and the synchronicities in your life will give you more opportunities to do so. In some senses, not in any way, shape, or form to make light of what you're going through, but this is a relatively typical path for someone opening up to channel in certain ways.
Okay.
Yes?
Yes.
Your life is going to get even more exciting
Right.
in very, I'll put it in your language, strange and unusual ways. But that's all right because they will not be so strange or unusual in time.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
So you're bringing through an energy to plant a seed that will grow, and when it grows, it will blossom and flower in a very beautiful way, and those who see the blossoming and the flowering will remark and comment on the idea of the color and the beauty of the flower that you have grown, and it will be appropriate in its appropriate time for those that need to receive it. Yes?
Yes.
All right. So you are, in a sense, a different kind of gardener.
Okay.
Does this help?
Yes, sir.
Oh, sir.
Sorry, I'm from Texas. That's
So
usually what we
formal.
say.
No need to apologize, sir.
Okay, I have one more question.
Yes.
One of the things that I was shown that's been something that's just very important to me, I'm very drawn to,
Yes.
is a shell structure. It's a very white, pearl-looking, beautiful shell. And
Can you define the shape?
like a shell that you would find on a beach? Just
Is it a spiral or something else?
Spiral.
It is a spiral.
Yes.
All right, then this is what we were talking about before. Look to and examine the idea of the Fibonacci sequence and spirals. Look to the golden proportions. Look to the phi ratios. Look to all those underpinnings of the geometry of creation and existence, and it will open you up in a very specific way. You will learn to read the signs. You will learn to read the book.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
Does this help you?
Yes, it helps me very much.
All right, one moment. How much? Has your diet changed lately?
Yes.
Urges for what?
More, I'm staying away from red meats and stuff like that.
Does that feel more natural to you now?
Yeah, it keeps me out of the hospital.
All right. Allow yourself to continue to refine. You don't have to force, but allow yourself to continue to refine the refinement of your diet in that way. And the idea of a detoxification of your body will aid and assist in allowing you to become a more receptive antenna to the energies that you are working with. I didn't say that. That's from them.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
So clean out, become more receptive, be easy on yourself, be kind to yourself. You will have more fun.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. At this time, you may take a short break, and we will resume with the meditation for your holotope experience. We thank you.